Wise lines. 3 tablespoons of Bhagwan's words, 5 tablespoons of your trust, and a bowl full of attempting to practice it forever can create the best and the most yummalicious dish of your life. So, when your wits and wisdom ends, when confusion surrounds your head, when you struggle to make a choice, when you fail to hear your inner voice, that time just chill and take the support of Bhagwan's chill pills. So, are you still in a situation where you're stuck and don't know what to do? Then well, this story is presented by Innervoicepaathshala to you all. During the time of Bhagwan Mahavir, there was a thief named Lokhur who lived in Vaibargiri hills near Rajgiri Nagari. He was a very extent thief and was difficult to be caught by king's officials. He and his wife Rohini had a son named Rohinya. Rohinya grew up seeing his dad's profession and eventually turned to become an expert in robbery, and he also specialized to be ahead of his dad in intelligence and smartness. It was impossible to catch him for his robbery, as he did not leave any traces behind. He helped the poor from whatever he robbed from the rich, and that is why they were always grateful to him and never helped the king's official to trace him. Lokhur was old now, and while he was taking his last breath, he called Rohinya and said, "My dear son, I'm very happy with your expertise stealing skills, as this has been our ancestral profession. But I have an advice for you to remember for the lifetime, my son. Never listen to the preachings given by Bhagwan Mahavir, as his preachings are not acceptable for our profession." Rohinya promised to never listen or follow the preachings of Bhagwan Mahavir. After his father's death, Rohinya had become a top robber. It was almost impossible to get him caught. Rich people feared that all their luxury valuables and jewelry would get stolen by Rohinya. People also went to the king and requested to help and provide protection from Rohinya. Now, as the king's police officials had always failed, the king appointed the case to the kingdom's most intelligent minister, Amarkumar, to take the responsibility of arresting Rohinya, as all knew that Amarkumar was very clever and had always been successful in managing the most difficult issues in the king's court. He was as smart as Rohinya. Now, there was no way for Rohinya to escape. People were very happy now. Since Amarkumar had taken up the responsibility to arrest Rohinya, he had done a complete research on Rohinya and his robbery history and skills. He had spread his spies, detectives, and secret officials to find Rohinya red-handed in the entire city. Through secret information, he knew Rohinya was about to pass by Rajgiri Nagari any time. Amarkumar instructed his spies and police officials with a to-do list and made this mission accomplished successfully. The message was given loud and clear to catch hold of Rohinya red-handed. There was no scope for any lenience and carelessness of any manner because they needed Rohinya by hook or crook. In spite of the tight security arranged by Amarkumar, Rohinya easily managed to enter Rajgiri Nagari, and he stole all the valuables and started to move back towards home through a jungle. Unfortunately, the cops and the soldiers of the king were running behind Rohinya to catch him. While chasing, he stepped on a sharp thorn that went deep into his foot. At that moment, there was a preaching going on by Bhagwan Mahavir. While running, he remembered his promise given to his father that he should never listen to Bhagwan Mahavir's preachings. He put his hands over his ears, and at that time, Bhagwan was giving the descriptions on Devlok and Devtas. And because his foot was paining, he had to take his hands off in order to take off the thorn. During that time, he heard the following 3 sentences. First, when Devtas walk, their feet does not touch the ground. Second, Devtas don't have shadows like humans, and their eyes never blink. And the third one, Devtas' garlands do not perish until they die. By that time, Rohinya had removed the thorn from his feet and covering his ears again with his hands, he started running towards the jungle. But because of the pain in his foot, his speed went down and became slow. Therefore, the soldiers caught him and trapped him. Since Rohinya had not confessed of being a robber, it was difficult to punish him, and therefore Aimuttamuni had kept him under the observation for hours to get the confession done by himself. Now, Aimuttamuni came up with a plan. He smartly executed his predefined plan of creating an illusionary devlok by transforming the entire setup. Rohinya was served excessive drinks with his medicine inside it, which made him unconscious. After that, Rohinya's dress was changed with extravagantly perfumed royal garments with the most expensive jewelry on. He was then placed on a luxury velvet bed of sandalwood. As Rohinya regained his consciousness, he was welcomed and told by the Devtas that he was in heaven, which is Devlok. He heard soft serene music in the background. Few angels were dancing on the tune of the music. Other two Devtas were pressing his legs gently, and some others served him refreshments. He was astonished to see the royal treatment in the Devlok. By seeing such extraordinary ambience, his mind was still thinking where he was and why he was here. Few soldiers disguised as Devtas came to him and said, "Welcome, welcome to the heaven. Hope your stay here so far has been pleasing and you're enjoying the luxurious treatment given to you. If you have any shortfall in your stay here, please do feel free to mention it to me. I will make sure nothing is less in your stay." Rohinya said, "I'm fine here. Thank you. But who are you? May I know how I came here? Is this heaven?" The soldier said, "I'm the head of Devtas. And yes, you are in heaven. This is where you have been brought after you died. So enjoy being in heaven. This is your new place to live. And as a part of heavenly rules, you have to fulfill certain regulations of heaven by answering a few questions about your past life good and bad deeds, which I will make a note in this golden book, as it is a rule of the Devlok, so that you can continue to take pleasures of all the luxury ambience and royal treatment here forever." Meanwhile, Rohinya was looking around, and suddenly he remembered the lines he heard from Bhagwan Mahavir about the Devtas in the Devlok. He noticed that their feet were touching the ground, their bodies had shadows, and their eyes were blinking like human beings. Garlands were also perishing after some time. He immediately figured out that this heaven was not real and was only an illusion created by Aimuttamuni just to trap him. What a masterstroke! Rohinya, being a smart chap, had decided by then what he would reply to the heaven officials, so he goes on like this. "Oh Lord, thank you for letting me know that I'm finally in heaven. After all, good deeds come a long way. Lord, please make a note in your golden book. In my previous life, I had done charity, had constructed temples, and had been to pilgrimages, and I've also helped needy people. When it comes to my bad deeds, nothing that I can remember of. Unfortunately or fortunately, there's none in my bad deeds kitty." Aimuttamuni's plan did not work out, and as there was no proof, Rohinya had to be relieved. Rohinya was released, but he constantly thought about what had just happened. He realized that just 3 sentences which he had accidentally heard from Bhagwan Mahavir had saved his life. He imagined, what if he follows all the principles of Bhagwan Mahavir? What miracles can it create to his life and soul forever? Thinking about this, he goes to Bhagwan Mahavir and takes Diksha and decides to give up on all his worldly pleasures. So friends, what we learn here is just a few sentences of Bhagwan Mahavir changed Rohinya's life. Imagine if we follow his principles forever, what special miracles could happen to our ordinary lives. Don't you think it'll become extraordinary? Think about it. That is why Innervoicepaathshala always tells you to aspire yourself correctly and inspire the world.